To In24 Headline News, we're in the heart of it. I'm Debbie Dare, your anchor for today. To be the first to get In24 headlines and all production, go to msmu.me on Channel 1 or download the MSMU app or at home on the Android Play Store. If you want to send us stories in our public inbox or interact with any of the In24 team, you can find us all on the msmu.me platform. Let's take a look at the top stories. Since the start of the emergency order, protesters have gathered every Saturday. This past weekend on January 16th at Yonge and Dundas Square was the first time police have come out in force to break up the gathering. 3 arrests were made. Videos were posted all over social media to show the peaceful gathering. Toronto police issued a statement on Twitter on January 16th. Quote, "We recognize the right to a lawful protest. The existing emergency orders prohibit large gatherings of more than 5 people." As you can see in the video obtained by our team, a wall of police officers pushed the protesters at the Yonge and Dundas intersection. Some of the protesters were having their hands up, others were leaving, and some people were just standing around. Freedom for peaceful protest is protected under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom. However, with the emergency protocols being issued, it is causing a backlash from the citizens concerned that these new measures are against Canadians' rights. For more on the story, visit our website and search for production code 0481. On January 15th, MPP Roman Baber of York Centre PCs issued a letter to Premier Doug Ford denouncing the current lockdown measures and demanding an end to the province-wide restrictions, calling the lockdown, quote, objectively deadlier than COVID. Baber cited increased cancer screenings, mental health concerns, and a battered economy. The Ontario government removed Baber from the PC caucus that day and countered his allegations with a fact sheet of hospital figures and COVID projections for the next 2 weeks. Ford has called Baber's statements irresponsible and criticized him for inserting political ideology in the battle against viral spread. Before we continue, we'd like to issue a trigger warning that this next story mentions suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. On January 12th, the vessel at Hudson Yards in Manhattan was closed indefinitely after a 21-year-old San Antonio man jumped 150 feet to his death the previous day. The police have identified the deceased as Franklin Washington, whose death followed a 24-year-old Brooklyn woman who also took her own life at the vessel in last December. A Hudson Yards employee who witnessed both tragedies said he couldn't sleep that night. A representative of related companies, the Hudson Yards developer, said that it is currently working with suicide prevention experts to implement safety precautions. Experts like Audrey Wax have criticized the low railings on the vessel in the past, which led to the first death in February 2020, 1 month after the structure's debut. Starting January 19th, Indigenous social group KAIROS Blanket Exercise, KBE, will be hosting teaching and sharing circles via Zoom, a program that will last until April. KBE said that it hopes to foster positive connections between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples through a meaningful exchange of truth and open dialogue. Each 90-minute teaching and sharing circle will honor Indigenous worldviews and traditions and will be led by an Indigenous elder. More news is on the way, but first, let's take a short break. For all of the topics presented on today's show, you can find in our show notes. Remember to download the msmu.me app to interact with our crew or follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram to keep up with the updated and uninterrupted news. Welcome back to In24, In the Heart of It. I'm your host, Debbie Dare, and you're watching Headline News. An open letter has been sent to 5 nations' intelligence agencies requesting an investigation into China's alleged attempt to trigger an economic crash for its competitors because of the lockdowns. British and the US spies are urged to investigate claims of China, quote, tricking the world into lockdown to trigger economic crash. American lawyer Michael Senger is leading a group of lawyers and human rights activists who believe that the Communist Party promoted nationwide shutdowns to cripple rival economies. The letter requests a federal investigation into the alleged scientific fraud. Chris Sokocha, who also goes by Chris Sky, tweeted that he received an apology from the RCMP and that the charges were dropped along with a gift of $500. In October 2020, Sokocha was arrested on the plane for not wearing a face mask. Following the arrest, Sokocha has been speaking out against mask mandates and lockdowns. It was an entertaining Instagram live chat between Toronto's Chris Sky and an Instagram user called Many Lights. On the evening of January 19th, a man who goes by the name Many Lights allegedly refused to be tested after arriving at the Toronto airport and instead unknowingly volunteered to quarantine at the government facility. We have the whole story on our website with the production code A0494. This month, UK pharmaceutical company Small Pharma will start the world's first patient clinical trials using psychedelic drug DMT to treat depression and isolate the root cause of the disorder, PharmaField reported. Collaborating with Imperial College, Small Pharma will conduct a 2-part trial with healthy volunteers in the first phase and patients with clinical depression in the second. Some exciting news is happening for planet Earth. Slovak designer Lenka Petrakova ocean cleaning prototype wins top prize in an architectural competition for solving environmental changes. It's called the 8th Continent. According to the demonstration, the model features petal-shaped buildings standing on tentacle-like platforms. These structures all work together to collect plastic debris from the water's surface and transform it into recyclable material. The facility also houses a research and education center, a greenhouse for hydroponic cultivation, and a living facility for the station's researchers. The floating superstructure is designed to be self-sufficient and to allow wind to pass through, making it resistant to strong ocean winds while collecting water for irrigation and harnessing tidal and solar energy. Thank you for watching Internet News Headliners. Remember to download the MSMU.me app or visit us at in24.ca to get the latest news. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram for the latest uninterrupted news. Again, if you want to submit a story to In24 or interact with any of the In24 team, you can find us all on the MSMU.me platform. Until next time, be in the heart of it. I'm Debbie Dare from Internet News.